Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. Donald J. Trump saves TikTok once again. Yeah, greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. You know it's your favorite Jamaican. Thank you for tuning in to Deep Roots TV. If you have not subscribed as yet, I'm asking you to hit that red subscribe button. Give me a follow on TikTok. Don't you flip flop. If you notice, I have not been vlogging. Yes, I'm sorry for the lack of participation, but I had to unplug from the internet. But today, President Donald J. Trump has signed an executive order saving TikTok from a ban while protecting America's national security. Now, President Trump has determined that the devastating online framework that has been circulating is very important, in which TikTok, the U.S. application, would be operating by a new joint venture company based on U.S. soil. It is qualified to divest. It will be the majority owner of the U.S. investors, operated in the U.S. by a board of director with national security and cybersecurity credentials, and subject to strict rules and protecting American data of national security. ByteDance will hold less than 20% of the stock as required by the law. Choose only one director of the 7-seated board on the exclusive company security committee. Oracle, one of the nation's leading technology company, will act as TikTok security provider and independent monitor and assure the safety of all operations in the U.S. The operations in the U.S. is vital to the national security concern and complies with the Protecting America from Foreign Adversary Control Application Act by removing TikTok in the United States from China's control. The divester put the operation of the algorithm code and content moderation decision under the control of the new joint venture. The divestiture prohibits the storage of sensitive U.S. user data in the manner that would allow such data to be used under control of foreign adversary. All U.S. user data will be stored in trusted, secured, and proposed built cloud environment and U.S. run by Oracle. The divestiture include intense monitoring of software update, the algorithm, the data flow, and its required all recommend model, including algorithm that use the U.S. user data to be retained and monitored by U.S. trusted security partner. This ensures U.S. content is free from improper manipulation. The order directs the Attorney General not to take action in force act for 120 days to allow the divestiture to be completed. President Trump found a solution for the 170 million Americans who use TikTok, ensuring user will be able to safely enjoy its safe global TikTok experience and view content from around the world with the confidence that their data is secure in the United States. American content creators rely on TikTok for livelihood, using to build audience, share their talents, and generate income in the increased digital economy. Similarly, American-based business, large and small alike, depend on TikTok's vast reach for advertising content, which cuts consumers and drive the economy growth. Though this deal is not final as yet, President Trump has found a way to keep TikTok operational while resolving these national security issues with new American investment and control. Preserving TikTok business will generate 178 billion in the economy activities in the US over the next 4 years and sustain thousands of US jobs and business. President Trump has demonstrated time and time again his ability to close deals and put America and its citizens first. President Trump has a long track record of national security and foreign policy success, including enacting the Abrams Accord, replacing NAFTA with the USMCA, and brokering the Phase 1 China trade deal. Since returning to office, President Trump and his administration has secured the release of 72 detained Americans abroad. President Trump's bold trade strategy had yielded historic agreement with major trading partners, including the European Union, United Kingdom, Indonesia, the Philippines, South Korea, Vietnam, and more, unlocking unprecedented investment in the United States and expanding market access for American goods. As President Trump pressure led Panama to exit China Belt and Road Initiative, a debt trap diplomacy scheme that China Communist Party used to gain influence over developing nations. Now the president, and if we can save it, I think that would be a very good thing. And I think it would become economically good for America. Now, I'm reading this article here, ladies and gentlemen, from the White House fact sheet. And of course, as you heard, it's skewed favorably towards the president, as President Trump promised that he would save TikTok during his campaign run. And this can be one of those things that he says, a promise made, a promise kept. But as you see on the screen there, these are the three tycoons that will be invested in the TikTok app. And this is a data grab, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. These are the new technocrats that will be digitally capturing our ever movement, setting the algorithms, censoring our speeches, and following us digitally everywhere we go for the rest of our life. Now, I want to welcome you to TikTok USA, as the United States president has promised his population that he will save TikTok. And President Trump now has turned over the multi-billion-dollar app to three technocrats, Oracle and Palantir owner, and others will be providing the security, meaning they will be the overseer of our digital footprint from now on. So I want to say congratulations to the United States of America and millions, hundreds of millions of TikTok users in the US, as President Trump has promised he will save TikTok. So he has delivered his promise, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rastafari Soldier here of Deep Roots TV. Thank you for tuning in to the Rastaman channel. Like I said, if you have not subscribed as yet, if you have not followed me on TikTok, go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Deep Roots TV. Give me a call on the WhatsApp. Number is down in the lower right-hand corner. And as we speak about the US, I'm going to keep it, in the US. Because the former FBI director, James Comey, has been indicted, ladies and gentlemen. And it appears that This is retribution. Right? Now, because we know that Donald J. Trump went through some political struggles, I would say. Some would like to say political persecution, but I say political struggles because it's all a part of the game. And here now it's his former FBI director, James Comey, is being indicted. He was indicted on Thursday, days after President Trump said publicly to the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi that he should be prosecuted. The indictment including 2 counts of making a false statement and obstruction of congressional proceeding. Comey has denied all wrongdoings. The charges stemmed from testimony Comey gave September 30, 2020 during a Senate Judicial Committee hearing, asked by Senator Ted Cruz about testimony he had gave in 2017 asserting that he did not authorize leak of information to the media about FBI investigation into Clinton Foundation. Comey said, "I stand by my testimony." Comey Deputy Andrew McCabe has said that Comey authorized him to leak information to the press according to 2018 Justice Department Inspector General report. But the report also found that McCabe made multiple false misleading statements. Statute of limitation for the charges was set to expire Tuesday. Comey would face a maximum of 5 years in prison if convicted. As DJT, the president, celebrated the indictment. Justice in America. One of the worst human beings in this country have been exposed to his James Comey, Trump said in a social truth post. Bondi added in a statement that the indictment reflected the Department of Justice commitment to hold those who abuse position of power according to misleading American people. We will follow the facts in the case. Comey denied the charges against him in a video post on Instagram. My family and I have known for years that there are costs to stand up to Donald Trump, but we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either, Comey said. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal justice system. I'm innocent, so let's have a trial. Keep the faith, he added. Comey arraignment is set for October 9th before U.S. District Judge Michael S. Nashmanoff, an appointee of President Joe Biden. Trump has undone norms and guidelines established after Watergate scandal to prevent president from ordering the Justice Department prosecute their political rivals. For the last 50 years, presidents have refrained from weighing in on whether the DOJ should bring prosecution. Since starting the second term, Trump has appointed lawyers who serve as his personal defense attorney to the top DOJ position. Pardoned over 1,000 people charged in the January 6th attack and publicly pressured Bondi to investigate foes. Lindsay Halligan, a new acting U.S. Attorney of Eastern District of Virginia, brought the charges against Comey despite concern from the prosecutors within the department. Prior to the charges, a senior Justice Department officials told NBC that career prosecutor in Halligan's office sent her a memo documented why they believe the probable cause did not exist to secure an indictment against Comey. In a statement after the indictment, Halligan said the charges as alleged in the case represent a breach of public trust and an extraordinary level. The indictment was handed down by grand jury in Alexandria, in the Eastern District of Virginia. Comey case was the final one referred to the court after several other unrelated ones were read. The grand jury did not return an indictment on additional counts of making a false statement according to the court filing. There was some confusion in the courtroom, and from Judge Lindsay Valla, who appeared puzzled by the multiple charges documented filed for one case, Valla asked why there were two documents. In some cases, Halligan told her, "I did not see it." To which Valla replied, "It has your signature on it." Valla then had Halligan make handwriting change to one of the documents and said both documents would be uploaded to the docket for records. It's rare to see only the name of the U.S. attorney, in this case, Halligan, on the docket and only her signature on the indictment. Usually there are several assistant U.S. attorney listed, not just the U.S. attorney. Halligan, a former insurance lawyer with no experience as a criminal prosecutor, was sworn in this week. Her former position with the White House was a special assistant tasked with removing improper ideology from the Smithsonian Museum. She also was part of the legal circle representing Trump in the Mar-a-Lago classified record case. For Comey, longtime federal prosecutor Patrick Fitzgerald has applied to appeal to the court representing former FBI director in the legal proceeding. Fitzgerald, who friend and associate of Comey, rose to fame as a special counsel investigating the leak of the identity of CIA operative Valerie Plum, which resulted in a conviction of former Vice President Dick Cheney, Chief of Staff Louis Scooter Libby, for perjury and obstruction of justice. Ironically, these guys are people who prosecute people for the same charges that they're being brought up on. Now, Fitzgerald said in a statement on the indictment that Comey denies the charges in the entry. Now, we look forward to vindicating him in the courtroom. Thursday's indictment comes less than a week after Trump in September 20 social media post addressed to Bondi pressuring her Comey that other prominent critics, Senator Adam Schiff, Democrat and New York Attorney General Letitia James. "We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice, indicted me 5 times. Over nothing. Justice must be served now," Trump wrote. He doubled down on comments later that day, telling reports, if they are not guilty, that's fine. If they are guilty, or if they should be judged, they should be judged. And we have to do it now. The president appointment of Halligan came after he expressed frustration that her predecessor's acting U.S. Attorney Eric S. Siebert had not brought fraud charges against James. In a post on X Thursday night, Schiff said Trump had forced out Siebert because the attorney wouldn't go along with Trump demands for political prosecution. Less than a week later, his inexperienced handpicked successor bring charges against a member of Trump enemy list, Schiff wrote. In my almost 6 years as an assistant U.S. attorney, I never witnessed such a blatant abuse of the department. The DOJ is now no little more than the arm of the president's retribution campaign. The indictment has also sparked at least one resignation. Comey's son-in-law, Troy Edwards, resigned as a federal prosecutor from the National Security Division at the U.S. Attorney Office in the Eastern Division of Virginia shortly after the indictment. Two sources familiar with the office confirmed to NBC. Edwards said in a letter submitted in Hilligan that he was stepping down to uphold my oath to the Constitution and the country. Asked early Thursday about the potential indictment of Comey, Trump said he believed he could get involved if he wanted to, and that the former FBI director is a bad person. I think that I'd be allowed to get involved if I wanted to, but I don't really choose to do so, Trump added. I can only say that Comey is a bad person. He's a sick person. Comey has been in the president's crossfire since the FBI under Comey's director launched an investigation into the Russia election interference in 2016, with president race and potential tie the Trump campaign. After Trump's first inauguration, he and Comey clashed privately over the investigation, according to testimony Comey gave to Congress in 2017 and his 2018 memoir. Trump fired Comey in 2017, leading then Deputy Attorney General Rod J. Rosenstein to appoint former Federal Bureau Investigative Director Robert Mueller, a special counsel, to take over the Russia probe. Comey emerged as a prominent Trump critic after he fired, calling the president an unethical man who has unethical ways. In 2018, the book, The High Loyalty, Truth, Lie, and Leadership. During Trump's first term, the president directed the special counsel John Durham to investigate the origin of the Russian investigation. Now, Durham's team did not charge Comey with a crime, nor did Durham criticize Comey by name in his final report, though he said the FBI discounted or willfully ignored material information that did not support the narrative of the conclusion, the relationship between Trump and Russia. The FBI Director Class Purcell said in a statement posted on the media after Comey indictment that the Bureau was looking to reverse weaponization of federal law enforcement from past corrupt leadership. Nowhere was the politicization of the law enforcement more blatant than during the Russia hoax, a disgraceful chapter in history we continue to investigate and expose, Patel wrote. Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, issued a short statement after the indictment at the time of Comey's alleged false statement and obstruction. My colleague and I actively investigated. If the facts and the evidence support the findings Comey lied to Congress and obstructed our work, he ought to be held accountable, Grassley, the Republican of Iowa, said. Defense attorneys from Comey are likely to cite that the DOJ inspectors general reported in his defense. The report found that Comey flattered that denied under oath the investigators authorized that McCabe leak the Wall Street Journal. So just to make sure there's no fuzz on it, I didn't authorize this, Comey told investigator. I would not have told him that I would not have authorized this. Investigators conclude that the overwhelming weight of evidence supporting Comey's version of the conversation and not McCabe's. The report's final paragraph criticized McCabe and said that he had lied on the oath when speaking with investigators. The OIG found that the then Deputy Director, Andrew McCabe, lacked candor, including on the oath on multiple occasions in connection with described his role and connection with the disclosure to the WSJ, the report said. Now, the OIG also concluded that McCabe concluded and disclosed the extensive of the ongoing investigation in the manner described in the report violated the FBI and the department media policy and constitute misconduct. The report added that in a letter submitted by McCabe, counseled and reviewed the draft of the report, McCabe argued that the OIG should credit Mr. McCabe's account over Director Comey's and complained that the report paints Director Comey as a white knight, carefully guarding the FBI information while overlooking Mr. McCabe's account is more credible. Very few people have been convicted on charges tied to lying to Congress in the past, in part because it's how difficult to prove. Trump former attorney Michael Cohen is the most recent to spend time behind bars for that crime. He was sentenced 2018 to 3 years in prison for charges that included lying to Congress and campaign violation for the roles of hush money payment and made to a woman during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. During his sentence, Cohen said, "I wanted to apologize to the people of the United States. He deserved to know that you deserve to know the truth, and lying to you was unjust." Trump former advisor Roger Stone is the most recent person to get convicted. He was sentenced in 2020 for lying to Congress in connection with the Russia probe. He was later pardoned by Donald Trump. The Department of Homeland Security and the Secret Service also investigated Comey early this year over photos showing shells on the beach forming into a number 8647 that was posted on social media in May, which some United States viewed as calling for Trump's assassination. Comey said during an MSNBC interview after the indictment that he hadn't envisioned the post would cause controversy and warned about the use of power to aim to an individual eroding the rule of law. Now, all this is for nothing, people, because James Comey is not going to be found guilty for nothing. Nothing at all. All this is for nothing. So, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to test out the software because, as you see, I was having some difficulties earlier. Thank you. I'm going to tune back in later on and read some more articles. Bless upon yourself. Give thanks, family.